What's up, guys? Brandon and Jeremy here from friendofrc.com giving you our review of the new-ish Team Associated SC10 4x4. So if you were one of the viewers of our live build of this truck, this is the actual truck we built on our live RC show, which you should also check out. This is pretty hotly anticipated. It's more of a race truck, but finally, after many years, Team Associated and Losi got their acts together and joined Traxxas in the 4x4 short course truck area. So with any review, we'll start with the technical, and no better guy than Brandon, the guy that built it, to talk a little bit about that.
Well, as you guys learned watching me build it, and as I learned building it hands-on, this is an extremely technical truck. You got the twin gearboxes, you got the belt drive, you got the clicker and a slipper. It all leads to a truck that really, as we saw when we took it to the track, needs a lot of tuning and adjustment. You can't just throw it down and go. It's because it's got so many different things to play around with, you really spend a lot of time tweaking it.
Yeah, and I noticed that you get out of the box, though, you get some pretty nice upgrades. You get the aluminum threaded shocks, which are pre-assembled. Yep. All the really complicated stuff actually comes pre-assembled out of the box, which is kind of nice. One of the annoyances I had when we bought this truck was that we couldn't get a factory team kit right away, so to speak. And so they had just the kit in general, and then now they've got the ready to run coming out. And that's just like this thing put together. Yeah. It's got a pretty unique design in the way the truck's assembled. It's like in two separate sections, which creates an issue when you've got to work on the damn thing, because you've got to take a lot more apart. For example, we broke a servo horn at the track. Well, that's 30 minutes instead of, on a slash, that's 3 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But we'll move on to the cost of operation. And that kind of varies. I mean, the kit, I can't remember, was it $299? Does that sound right? Right around $300?
Right, yeah.
Which puts it right in the same range of, say, like the Losi roller. If you compare it to like the Slash Ultimate, though, which is about $380, it's a little bit cheaper, but obviously the Slash Ultimate comes with a few more upgrades. You buy the kit, you put your electronics in just like any other kit. Cost of operation is relatively minimal.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Nothing too fancy here. Obviously, four-wheel drive, you expect to spend a little extra cash maybe on the 550 motor or a bigger four-pole motor than your standard two-wheel drive. But other than that, it doesn't require anything too fancy. In fact, it's pretty much limited to a two-cell LiPo the way they got the battery strap set up, or a really small three-cell. Mm-hmm. We went with the stock spec equipment, so two cells all we needed.
Yeah, we actually built two simultaneously, and we hooked one up with the Team Associated brand new 550 motor and stock spec V2 ESC and motor combo, which we'll review in another video. The other one we actually hooked up with the Mamba Max and the 4-pole motor, and that thing owned. I mean, this is a true race truck with the stock spec system in it, but like you said, with all the tweaking, it doesn't cost a lot of money to tweak, it just takes time.
Yeah, just your time.
You're going to want to throw some new tires on, but other than that, you're pretty good. Fun factor, well, that's pretty much directly proportional to how much fun you have racing, right?
Yeah, right. If you're not a racer, the fun factor might be pretty low for you, because if you're assembling it like we did, you're spending a lot of time building it, and that's not the half of it. I mean, once you got it built and actually got the electronics on and running it, you'll spend a lot more time tuning it to get it to handle like you want.
Yeah, so if tuning's fun for you, and it is, we know, for a large section of the RC community, this truck is super fun because you can tweak just about everything right out of the box. If you just like to throw it on and go, you're going to hate this truck. It is a true racer. It's no hybrid. You're not going to take the out and bash with it without breaking belts or other parts. Yeah. It's moderately durable, but again, it's a race truck. And so for me, I had more fun while he was racing this. I had our Losi 4x4 out with the Mamba Max and 4-pole
Pro system.
Yeah, the Mamba Max Pro system and the 4-pole, and I was clearing doubles, triples all day long, just having fun while he was putting around with his little 2S. Yeah. I was running on the 3S battery, which that's more fun for me.
Yeah, I would agree. When you're spending the time to tune it, if you got the time to, that's great. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of tuning aspects, and pros and people that want to get into the racing and tuning really appreciate how much you can really mess around with on it. But like Jeremy said, you're not going to want to buy this. You just want to drop something on the track and go, or just take it outside the backyard and go. The way this thing's built, the last thing you want to do is bash it. Like he said, you break the right amount of parts, you're going to be spending a ton of time taking it apart. And really, again, that comes back to the belt drive on top of gearboxes just leads to a car that's it's more time spent working on it than driving it.
But in terms of value, I'd say it's fair. It's an average or above average value. It's a great truck for the money. It depends. When I look at something like value on a race kit like this, it gets a little more, I scrutinize a little bit more, because if it was a basher, I wouldn't have to have a $100 steering servo in there. I wouldn't have to have, for example, this stock spec system in there, which is like $300.
Yeah.
So the value as a race truck is great. The value as an overall short course truck is fine. It's okay.
I'd add to that, you get a little extra value, like you said, pre-assembled shocks, pre-assembled diffs, little things that cut off in times in terms of the kit, where a lot of kits, you're going to be building the shocks, add another hour to it.
Yeah.
It's a little extra value there.
Performance, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Performed great. We only had enough time before we broke both servo horns, because we put the wrong one on during install. We probably maybe had 5 or 10 packs through them, but you could see flashes of how this thing would perform really well. So I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. The low polar moment they advertise, all the things that they tried to make this and went into this to make it a full race truck really showed on the track. It was very maneuverable, really steerable. I was excited to try it out, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with it.
So to bring it home, as usual, the way we always end our reviews is, if we could go back, would you buy it again? And I would say it's hard for me, because we get a lot of value out of it for RC Nightmare with our live show.
Yeah.
If I were going to race, would I go back and buy this again? I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Like, I'm not really a racer, so I don't really care. I have, like, the Losi is more of a hybrid, and at our local short course showdown, the Losi is actually the one that won, the Losi 4x4, followed by the SC10 4x4. So just based on that, if I was going to go out and race, I'd feel confident enough that, I could take my Losi out there and get the best both ways. So I would probably pass on it second time around.
Yeah, I would have to agree. We're a little spoiled because the Losi came out first. It's an 80% roller, and the thing is it's just a great truck overall. Something like this comes around, you're building it, you spend a lot of time tuning it, so it's tough to say we'd buy it again. Now, if it was a choice between this and like a Slash, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're a hardcore team associated guy, of course you're going to love this thing again. But me, I'd pass. The Losi does great stuff for us. It was fun to build it, good experience, but I'd probably choose something else if I did do it again.
And that's our personal opinion. It's a great race truck. If you get into tuning, you will out-tune the Losi, and you will out-tune the Slash. There's no doubt about that.
Widely subjective when you're talking about racing. Yeah.
So, and that's it for our SC10 4x4 review. If you have any questions about them, you can post them up down below, or shoot on over to our website at friendofrc.com. Thanks.
See you guys.